Hey, Bill. Yeah, Steve Basic Architect. Check this out. So, you know, one of the coolest things about being an architect is that I get to come out and see really cool construction, but I get to see some pretty cool sites too, right? So if you've been following me on this project, obviously we're by the river. I've been calling it the Riverside Project, and got a treat for you today. I've been long awaiting seeing the stone go up. So on this house, we have our open joint rain screen. You probably saw all those videos, the resist the siding. But the base of the building here, we're doing a thin stone veneer that gets mortared in. So let's take a quick look at it, and then we'll go around. The guys are actually here working today. Before we jump over there, look at that baby. So we have a series of retaining walls. We have the landscapers here putting in some steps. We have a whole series of things, but talk about a cornerstone. That thing's about 2 feet by 4 feet by, I don't know, about 5 or 6 feet. So yeah, you're not just picking that up and moving. But check this out. Huh? Isn't this beautiful? It's a beautiful blend. We have the grays in here to pick up and blues to pick up on the blue. We have a bunch of the reds and rusts that we can pick up the soffit, the resista color there. I'm just gonna walk by the camera here. I'm gonna grab a piece and jump back out there just so you can see. But this is all, you know, we would call it thin veneer stone. So you're probably talking on the thin side, this might be like 3/4, 7/8. On the thickest side, you know, in some areas, this thing might get up to 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. But yeah, it's just basically what we call a veneer stone. And the idea of a veneer stone is that it basically goes up as a tile, right? Another way to think about it is it's basically a stone tile, right? So I did a video in preparation for this one where we talked about the MTI dry drainage board. Then we had the metal lath over it. Well, over that metal lath, you can see here, that's a cementitious scratch coat. And what the scratch coat is, that gives you kind of the initial binding coat for the finished mortar, which is what you bed the stone veneer in. So you basically have the stone, we have the 2 coats of mortar that are attached to the lath, and then the lath is mechanically fastened to the wall. That's what allows this to stand up. If I tap it, you can hear it sounds kind of hollow, and the reason for that is it's attached to that metal lath. And again, if you want to see what I'm talking about, go back to probably a video or 2 ago where I talk about the preparation for the stone veneer. But that MTI dry, it's a drainage board. So there's air there, and we can have air move up, water move down, and then the lath is outside of that. So the scratch coat, and see how they screed it? They screed it intentionally very coarse because it's that very coarse nature of the scratch coat. And that's why it's called scratch, that the mortar actually binds to the scratch coat, and then the stone is embedded in the mortar, and then you can see they put the joints in, and then they tool all of the joints. Now, notice on the side here, you'll see there's a little piece of wood on that side, and on this side, notice that happens where we have the stone adjacent to a window or a door jamb. They'll actually pull that out, and then we will put a color coordinated soft joint in there, a sealant, right? So Sashco makes them. They make them so that you can color coordinate it. We'll color tune it to the joint here, and so it will look very similar at a quick glance. If you came up here and did a really close inspection, you'd understand hard joint versus soft joint. But as you can hear, we got the guys around the corner. They're actually putting the stone up. You can see here, we have an area, you know, they put a leveling piece of wood down below the grade is actually going to come up to that because we're not worried about water here. Remember, we have the MTI dry mat behind this, and that is directly connected to our drainage mat that's outside of the ICF wall there. So we're getting that drainage, but you can see here how we, again, have that coarse nature, but then you can see how the mortar is then placed and basically fills that in, and then the stone abuts that. Let's take a quick walk around the corner and see what the guys are doing here. So we have a bunch of the stone going in. You know, it's like any other team of subcontractors. You know, there's guys that do this job, guys that do that job. So you can see here, they have their string or their plumb line here. That string is to guide the installation of the corner, right? You don't want to come up here and see that corner veering either left or right or coming out at you. You want that to be nice and straight. So they set up the string, basically, it's like a plumb bob, and that sets the corner. And so they build the corner, and whenever you're doing masonry, the corner kind of sets the tone for the rest of the wall. So you notice down on the far side, we have the corners relatively high. Here, the corner's relatively high. And then we have the gentlemen that come in and basically fill in the field of the wall. So you get everything organized straight on the corners, and then you basically come in, build the wall, and then take the corners all the way up, finish it off. Now, you can see here they have their cutting station. They have a steel angle there, which they put the stone against, and they will chip at it if they're looking for a very precise way to put it in. Also, one of the things, the place we get the stone from, this is actually real stone, and they cut the real stone there. So you can see here, they actually cut the corner pieces. So we have the field stone, which is basically out in the middle of the field, but then we have these corner pieces that are cut to make up that corner. What you don't want is, you don't want a corner of the stone coming up in that situation where it looks like, you know, it really isn't a piece of stone. By having that fabricated corner, you can now see it looks like it's a real, mimicking a real stone foundation wall. Anyways, glad we caught that. Stuff is looking beautiful. We'll just take a quick walk down here because I always love to finish these videos with the river behind me, right? Just such a beautiful sight. Privilege to work with clients, you know, and the opportunity to do projects on sites like this. So anyways, there you have it. That veneer stone out on the foundation. Let's head on back to the studio. We'll break out Big Red. We'll break out some wall sections, some details here, and we'll continue the conversation. I'll see you back at the studio. All right, people, I told you when we looked at the lath and that MTI dry, that, man, when we put this stone on, it's going to look good. Well, I don't think I failed you. I think it's looking pretty darn good. Let's get Big Red in hand. Let's break out some details. Let's talk stone veneer. All right. So there is our detail. Now, this is a detail that I would typically say this is, you know, at the water table. And I have no idea, honestly, where water table comes from. I just know the water table is kind of that area where foundation meets framing on the first floor. So somewhere in there, grade is introduced, and you can see grade is right there. All right, so you saw in the video there, we were putting in our stone, and you can see it there. If you haven't watched the other complimentary video to this, the one previously, this is where the MTI dry sure cavity is behind the stone, right? So it's right behind the stone, and then we have our expanded metal lath, which is right behind it. So we basically have our ICF, and let's find a little place to put it here. We have our ICF there, and then on the outside of that ICF, above grade, we would have our MTI dry, right? And that's what we're calling out right here, and it's right in there. And the MTI dry, remember, that is nothing more than that corrugated plastic that has a fabric on it, right? So the ICF would be over here. You push the open side up against it, and you want the fabric to the outside. So this is that fabric face right there. And the reason you want the fabric face is because you're going to come in, you're going to put a metal lath, and you're going to screw that metal lath to the system. So now when I come and I install that mortar bed here, right, and you saw the guys doing it out there, the mortar bed basically embeds the metal lath, but the fabric is what stops the mortar from infiltrating. You know, when we put the lath in here and then we apply the mortar, well, the mortar can't get into that corrugation between the ICF and the fabric, because that fabric is what keeps basically the drainage space clean. And so you do the mortar, and then the guys are putting the stone on, you know, out there, and then they're adding a little bit of mortar there. So, you know, now when it rains on this, you know, the stone doesn't necessarily allow moisture to pass through, but man, that mortar is a matter of minutes to get water on the backside of that stone. So remember what we talk about, water management, right? And I said this in the other video. And it's not called water barrier, water stop, none of that. It's called water management because we give it a path, right? Heard me say it a million times. You're probably going to hear me say it a million more times. Why? Because we all know water is the #1 killer of buildings, right? #1 killer, not number 10, not number 20, not number 100. #1, meaning if we didn't have rainwater coming down or melting snow and ice, then we would have a lot more buildings lasting a lot longer. But water, it's a killer. Water management is the key because we give it a path. So underneath that, we have our tough and dry. And the tough and dry is nothing more than a drainable protection board. Right. So it's a drainable protection board. So that means that water has the ability to move down through that board. We have a waterproofing. It's called WP there. We have a 60 mil waterproofing as part of that tough and dry system that gets applied to the face of the ICF. And you can see that in one of the earlier videos where we talk about that system. And then we have the drainable medium. So now any water that comes, rainwater that hits this or hits here and splashes back on there, that migrates through, it goes through the mortar bed, through the fabric, and into the MTI dry mat, and it falls vertically. And it just so happens that that MTI dry mat terminates at the top of our drainable protection board in our tough and dry system. And so now any of that water that is falling to gravity is falling down the MTI dry mat, and it is going into our drainable protection board and down into a perforated pipe, stone bed, and it's either going to a French drain or to the sump pump and getting pumped out to a on-site French drain. So we have a couple conditions out there, but that's what's happening with the water. As well as, up here we have our siding, and we had to make sure, you can see there's I don't know, this is probably on the order of about 2¼ inches. And we had to pay close attention to that, because you don't want the stone, you don't want your siding ending there and all of a sudden the stone is out here and water can infiltrate that system. You want it more like the siding terminates there and our stone terminates back here. So any water that comes here simply drips down to the ground and doesn't really challenge the stone that much. Remember, number one rule of water management is get rid of it. Right? Get rid of it, meaning don't let my assembly see it. Right? Protect it. If I can protect it and I don't let the assembly see the water, then I no longer have a water management issue. It's a water management issue if I let the water linger. So get rid of the damn water. Let's get rid of water being the number one killer. Obviously something else would take over as the number one killer, and we'll battle that. But for now, let's make sure we're always solving for water. So anyways, that's our thin stone veneer system on top of that MTI dry mat that drains that water away. All right, people. Big Red came and conquered. Go check it out if you're looking for more. It's the Basic Architect. Yeah, we are all over the map. So Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Go check it all out. Check it out here. Build Show Network. Literally hundreds of videos from the last couple of years. And it's all current stuff. This is stuff that we're doing literally. That stone veneer got installed last week. So these are not archived footage. This is stuff that I'm going out, making it happen, and then coming back here and sharing it with you. So go check it out. And lastly, Unbuild It Podcast. Peter Yost, Jake Bruton, and myself talking everything building, as well as the Build Show podcast. Yeah, I have recently I've done a handful of podcasts with Matt where we had some really good subjects. So go check that out too. Build Show podcast. So anyways, until next time, Big Red and I say long.